Hey everyone, welcome back to Input, man. And there was supposed to be a review up today of a awesome upgrade kit that I got for for Earthrise Scorponok, and I saw this and I kind of figured that this would be more important to talk about. So I pushed the review back to tomorrow, or I'm sorry, to Wednesday, because tomorrow we have the return of Tales from Teletran. And I don't know why I said it like that, but you know what? I like the way I said it because I thought it was funny, awesome, scary. I don't know. Pick a word. I just, whatever goes with it. Anyway, as always, get the plugs out of the way. If you guys want to donate on Patreon, go ahead and click the link in the description down below. Check out the stop motion channel where I upload all of my stories for Transformers, for other stuff that's possibly coming up in the works, as I'm waiting for people's lines to come back to me and stuff like that. And over there on the channel, you'll see the continuation of Transformers Generation 1 is Season 5. That's right. Big Bad Toy Store has officially shipped my Black Zarak. So the corner that I wrote myself in because I didn't have a Black Zarak to film with, well, I now have one on the way so I can film with it and continue Season 5. Welcome in, Robot Recruits. He says, scary. And so, yeah, do all that good, awesome stuff. And as always, check out tformers.com for so much less drama than you will ever occur on Facebook. That's right. If you are sick and tired of being cussed at because you like Transformers or Robots in Disguise 2015 over the 2001 cartoon, then head over to tformers.com where the yelling, well, it'll be civil conversation about your opinion at the very least, right? So, and as always, if you live in the UK, check out Robot Recruits, man. You know what? Just give the KO punch to Kapow Toys and check out Robot Recruits. That's it, man. That's as simple as that. Devoid of logic. Welcome in, my man. So normally these plugs take about 5 minutes. Usually do it in 5. And I've done it in 3, so that means I'm getting better. And I hope you guys are looking forward to the return of Tales from Teletran tomorrow afternoon. That's right. We are an afternoon live show now instead of a Saturday live evening show thing. And anyway, we'll get into that tomorrow as well. Do all of the Tales from Teletran updates tomorrow. Let's see. Devoid of Logic says, yep, as long as gas prices stay high, so will every other product. Already jumping into the topic I wanted to talk about. Absolutely, right? And Robot Recruit says, yep, T-Formers is the bomb. Absolutely. So let's dive into these price increases. Jay Hollow, what's up, man? Welcome in. And so let's dive into these price increases real quick, shall we? So news is that prices are going up again across the board from Hasbro. And I really wanted to kind of get my thoughts out there about this. We've already seen from Hasbro price increases in Transformers and Marvel Legends in all of their 6-inch lines, plus their Transformers. Deluxes have gone up from $19.99 to $22.99, and now they're talking about going up again to $24.99 across the board. Now, a lot of people, like Devoid of Logic was saying, as long as gas prices stay up, petroleum products such as action figures that use oil will stay up as well. Now, there is a lot of truth in that statement, and I'm going to bring it up right there. There's a lot of truth in that statement. However, I do want to talk about the overall pricing scheme of Hasbro and everything that's going on. Now, my takeaway from a lot of this is Titans are jumping up $30. Now, that is nothing new. We've already seen the price increase happen with Black Zarak when they first announced it, and it went up for pre-order. It went up for about $160 for pre-order, and now they're shipping out. If you pre-ordered it late, they're shipping out at about $170. So we already saw the price increase there. And now they're doing another price increase on their Titan class, jumping it up to 180. Now, after tax and shipping and everything else, man, that's $200 plus for a Titan class figure. And I kind of, after what I saw with the Arc, now I'm not saying the Arc's a bad figure. I have seen it in hand. I don't own it. But after what I've seen with the Arc, where the price was like 160, 170, depending on where you shopped, Walmart had it on sale for 100. I've seen in the UK that Smith's had it at 99 pounds, which is under 100 pounds, obviously. So it's slightly over $100 here after conversion rate. But after seeing all of these deep discounts with the Arc, even Entertainment Earth had it on sale for 115 or so for about 2 months after Christmas. I mean, it was a Black Friday deal. You guys could have got it super cheap at any point in time. I see that as a problem because I see a lot of people not wanting it to pay. Now, $25 is a lot easier to pay than a $200 or $170 price tag. But the prices on their Transformers are going up across the board, like I said, and we've already seen it with their Marvel Legends. Their X-Men cell-shaded figures are now $27 off their website. We've seen it with, last year we saw it with their X-Men movie line, Marvel Legends, at $27 in store and on the website and stuff like that, while other figures were still at that $20 to $22 mark. And even if on some of their 2-packs, their Storm and their Storm 2-pack in particular had a $55 price tag on it as well. So it was very much no reason at all. Now, Hasbro has said that these prices are going to go up because of everything that's been going on in shipping delays. Material cost is going up. Winston, what's up, man? What's up? Long time no see, buddy. Robot Recruit says they are having a lot of trouble shifting them, basically because folks won't pay the RRP. I'm assuming that's MSRP in the UK. And Robot Recruit says, Arc is still 99 pounds, which is about 130 US. So they said that because of material costs and stuff, prices were going to continually increase. The cost of shipping has increased dramatically since all the ports have been jammed up since COVID and all this other stuff since the pandemic had started and stuff like that. And the cost of oil has gone up significantly as well. Now, I want to say this. The prices for shipping are going to go back down, okay? When all this stuff clears up, it's going to go back down. And my question is to you guys, do you guys think that you're going to see prices drop back down after that excuse isn't usable anymore, right? So, and I definitely don't think it is. They're a multi-billion-dollar company in the U.S. that's publicly traded. If I'm being completely honest here, it's all about more so. At this point, it's more about greed, I feel like, than it is a whole lot of anything else. Now, I'm not saying that Hasbro is a greedy company. They do a lot of good with a lot of, their carbon footprint essentially being decreased, right? The Void of Logic says, start buying from Amazon with the Amazon credit card. I get 5% back on all purchases. I get figures for free as my 5% adds up. I mean, that's great, but that's not going to work for everybody. And what about the people who don't have the ability to get a credit card, right? There's that as well. Or just the people who don't want to have Amazon lending them a line of credit. I know, like you're saying, you get 5% back. What is your what's your interest rate on that credit card? That would be my question, because if you're most of those company credit cards like that, like Amazon or GameStop or pick a company, Walmart or whatever, they start you off at like 29% APR, and which is obscenely high. So you might be paying $30, but after everything's said and done, you end up paying, $35 or something like that. While I do say it's a great idea to save money that way, I do see with this price increase, a lot of people either pulling back and saying, I don't need a Black Arachnia update, or I don't need a mild update. Such as, I mean, a lot of the stuff from Titan's Return holds up extremely well, that I see a lot of people going, I don't need a Legacy Blitzwing. I've got the Titan's Return Blitzwing. What's up, Pop the Trunk? Let's see. Jeff has another rocket to launch yet. Right. But I can see people going, okay, I don't need an update. This is a mild update, because I feel like when we went from the Thrilling 30 Perceptor, where he turned into the snow truck, right? The Arctic exploration truck, that Titan's Return went back to G1 Perceptor. I know he's a Titan Master, Headmaster, and a lot of people don't like the gimmick, but I've said before, if your main complaint for not liking a figure is because he's a Headmaster now and he wasn't like that in G1, you put the head on, we put him on the shelf, and we really don't mess with him past that point. I know Jay does, and I know some people do as well, but I feel like it's a super, super weak argument. That's just my opinion on it. I feel like at the end of the day as well, this is going to end up pricing a lot of people out. I already kind of toned down what I buy at $22 a deluxe, because I wasn't too happy that they went up to $20 a deluxe, especially after the excuses or I shouldn't say excuses, that's got a negative connotation to it, but reasons why they went up in price was, they said parts count and engineering. Well, they're starting to copy their own engineering, and they're starting to copy third parties' engineering. And so I feel like the engineering aspect is now not a reason for the price increase, not a valid reason or a valid argument at that point. But yeah, at $22, I mean, you got to think that's already $25 after tax, depending on where you live. For me, that's 24 and some change. So I usually just round up to say 25. So it's $25 a deluxe already after tax for me. That's about $27 to $28 a deluxe, depending on where I go. And Gotbot, welcome in. Gotbot says, prices again. I talked about hikes the last 2 weeks and have another for Thursday. I do a deep look at this Friday in Was Kingdom worth it? Awesome, dude. I look forward to it. And yeah, you're 100% right. You have talked about it. And in Canada, where Gotbot is, he says, try $43 a deluxe at Toys R Us. Yeah, some of this stuff I feel like is just getting just completely out of hand. And it's the problem that I'm seeing is like it's $25 now for a deluxe. So say $27, $28 after tax. Okay. The problem that I'm seeing is that there's huge QC problems. There's the quality isn't going up with the price. They're not necessarily adding material. They're taking material away. You know, they're thinning out plastic. They're using push pins instead of screws. They're using clear plastic and then painting the clear plastic, which I would imagine that's a cost-saving measure as well on top of that. Now, don't quote me on that. I'm just throwing that one out there as an assumption. But it's not the same quality. So we're getting the same quality that we've been getting with Kingdom and a lot of these figures at that same price point. While a deluxe figure like, say, Cliff Jumper, right, which is on the old Legend scale, which, speaking of, core class is going up to $12.99. That's $13 a core class. And something I haven't seen a lot of people say is that the new core class, it's not the same size as the old Legend scale class. They are actually smaller, so they've taken away a lot of plastic and material there already, and that It's already kind of iffy. I passed on a lot of those because at $10, I couldn't. At $10 a figure, that's something that's smaller than a Legends class already. I couldn't pull the trigger on. Hey, Timmy, welcome in, man. He says, "Hello, everybody." Robot Recruits, it says, a totally new Legacy Minosaur is a total third-party ripoff. 100%. Absolutely agree. Studio Series Core here will be $17.99. Now, this is up in Canada where Gotbot lives. Again, he says the Studio Series Core will be $17.99. Core is 17 to 22 grams, not Legends 35 grams. Absolutely right. Let's see. Devoid of Logic says Hasbro will soon move away from using plastic in figures. They are planning to use plant-based material. Now, see, that's a huge issue as well for the longevity with a lot of this stuff, as far as plastic quality and stuff goes. Plant-based ABS plastic degrades. Plant-based plastic in general degrades a lot faster than petroleum grade plastics. And I know they're trying to save the world and all that. But I will say this, they are a toy company attempting to lower their plastic, their carbon footprint via their plastic, right? So they're a toy company. I'm not saying that it's hypocritical of them to think that way, but I will say that I kind of feel like it's a losing effort in that regards, right? Trans Aaron, the 38, welcome in, man. And if they're switching away, I feel like a lot of this stuff, it shouldn't be pinned on the customer. It should be pinned on the company. The company should kind of essentially, not eat the costs or anything, but pass the savings along to the consumer, which we haven't seen any company do that in an extremely long time. But my biggest question on these is now we're going to start seeing leaders at $55, and we've already seen it here at my local Target. I did find Coronation Starscream, didn't pick him up. He was $55 after tax at $60. That's a PS4 or a Switch game. I want to put that in perspective. It's a PS4 or a Switch game, and Starscream only comes with a throne and a cape, some extra shoulder pieces, and some null rays, which are all essentially downgraded from the MP 2.0 Starscream. Okay, it's essentially the same cape, same shoulder pieces and whatnot. So there's no real engineering there at all, and the back of the chair is hollowed out. So it's just, there's a lot of questionable decisions where I feel like if you're going to keep using the same engineering and then release the same figures just with a bunch of added stuff, then it shouldn't have a price increase behind it. Jay Holler says he paid $49.99 for his Coronation Starscream. Let's see. Gotbot comes in again and says 55, you say, $84.99 here, which is about 67 US. Good God. Let's see. Devoid of Logic says it's like buying a figure plate with GPS, then wondering how long the figure will last. Not worth the money invested. Absolutely. And I do want to, honestly, I want to ask you guys this question, because I know a lot of you guys swap your figures out, like in the case of 86 Perceptor that's coming out. If you guys have Titans Return, I know a lot of you guys are probably going to sell the Titans Return one and then get the Studio 86, right? For me, it's not really worth the upgrade. It's not even an upgrade, because to me, there's no real such thing as an upgrade. Like, a figure can be better, but I'm wondering, my question is, how many of you guys are going to do that? How many of you guys are going to switch out your older figures with the newer figures, just out of curiosity? Jay Holler said, I did pay $42.99 for T-Rex. See, that's weird, because I got mine for $49.99. So we're kind of on the same wavelength there, Jay. I guess just two different figures, if that makes sense, and flip-flopped. Marcos, welcome in, man. M3. Action figure expert says, I myself have never sold or exchanged any older figures for new ones, and I haven't either. Now I do want to know if these price hikes are going, or when these price hikes happen. Are you guys going to move over to third-party Transformers, or is this going to push you guys into just essentially to stop collecting Transformers, or maybe move to older lines, maybe complete some older Beast War figures or something like that? Essentially, are you guys going to put your money into a better product? I guess that is what I'm asking. Me personally, I'm probably going to I'm going to switch more to third-party figures because I do feel like I do get a better bang for my buck, especially with something like Moon Studios, with their write-in pieces at $100, and they're loaded with die-cast and their masterpiece scale. And a new startup company, they're not going to be able to produce as much as Hasbro, so they're the size of what Commander class or old leader scale, right? For $100, and they're loaded with die-cast and ratchet joints, and parts count is obscenely high. So I do feel like there's a better product out there. You get more for your money that way. Raggio Kane, what's up, man? He says, "Oi, is this the right place to bitch anonymously?" Blah. I'm not even going to try it again. Strike out on that one. At a price increase. Absolutely, man. My channel has always been an open forum to talk about how you feel and how you see things, especially in chat, anything like that. Blue Raccoon, welcome in, man. As if, I'm sorry, man, I butchered that. I'm sorry. That's the main reason why I collect third party, especially fans toys. Yeah, absolutely. Like fans toys. I know a lot of people love fans toys because of the quality of their figures and stuff. Transparent says fans hobby figs are worth it. I absolutely agree with that as well. Let's see. Blue Raccoon says, guys, let's be clear. Swindle was a pretender and a CEO of the toy department. Devoid of logic. Inputs, great question. I would change the third party. They are better engineered. And that's the takeaway. That's one of my takeaways is that, like I said, Hasbro is taking engineering from third-party companies. So it's kind of disappointing to me that they're the owners of these IPs, right? Like they're the originators of Transformers. They're the ones who, decide, how to, they essentially should be the forerunner and front runner in their engineering, all above all other companies. And they're copying their own engineering from 10, 15 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, from their masterpiece lines. And now they're copying third-party figures with their Minosaur, which they've been copying third-party figures since the beginning of Siege. Now, I will say that as far as engineering goes, they've been copying third-party figures. But to actually see it so blatantly done with their Minosaur is really, really disappointing to me. Let's see. So Jay Hollis says, I like X-Transbots prices, but not the transformations. You definitely see that. See, Jeremy says eBay is setting it to prices. Absolutely. Let's see. Azov says, but even third party, especially Legends, are going up. It's a little ridiculous with their new Optimus Prime is going to be $120. And this is a Legend scale. That's insane. Now, I absolutely agree with that as well. I said on a live stream, I think about 2 weeks ago for the news, when I did the news, that Legend scale New Age Toxitron I was going to pick up. But when I looked at the price, it's $140 after shipping and tax. That's $150 for a 4-inch Optimus Prime figure. I couldn't. It's $150, man. That again, it could go to like a Moon Studio figure. That could go to a Fans Project figure. That could, at $150, that could go to KFC's new Jinrai figure that's coming out as well. There's a lot of stuff there that $150 could go to. Let's see. M3 says, question, is Fans Toys Hasbro? How come Fans Toys doesn't get busted? Now, I've got my own theory on all this. Fans Toys is not Hasbro or Takara or anything else like that. A lot of third-party companies I don't think get busted, mainly because they're not really in competition with Hasbro or Takara whenever with the figures that they're releasing. We saw this, and I say this because we saw this with Unicron when Hasbro announced Unicron. They turned around and Zeta announced their Unicron, and Hasbro shut it down immediately. The last time we saw that actually play out, we saw it with Shockwave, and when Fans Toys released their Quake Wave, we saw images of Masterpiece Shockwave at the same time, and for the first time, Takara wasn't king of the mountain as far as their masterpiece scale figures go, and that was the first time a lot of people, especially myself in the community, sat back and said, "Whoa, third party just outdid Takara on a masterpiece figure." So I don't think they really wanted to have that play out again. So I think that's the deal that we're looking for. Jay Holler says Legends are the price of leaders. Absolutely. Blue Raccoon says I won't give up on Hasbro. They may raise prices, but I can probably buy from my toy store. May have a lower price. Hey, this is what I said. I absolutely love the fact, and I agree with Deluxe. Buy whatever makes you happy, and I 100% agree with that. If you like it, you win. Robot Chris says, personally, I don't always trade out my figures just because there's a new version out. If I do swap out, it's because I prefer to have one over another. I didn't get War for Cybertron Mirage because I love the classics. I'm right there with you, man. I did see the new Mirage on Siege, and actually, I did have the Earthrise Mirage from the 2-pack. Me and DFS, we split the cost of the 2-pack, and I sent him the G1 figures, and I kept the Beast War figures because I was interested in the Beast Wars, and he was interested in the G1s, so we just split the cost. But I did have that Mirage for about, say, a day, and I looked at the classics in the Earthrise one, and I was like, yeah, the classics wins out, man, for me, 100%. Blue Raccoon says, I traded $40 worth of games and traded them for an SF Studio Series Drift, paid $5. I'm assuming you did that at GameStop, most likely. That's a Fans Toys figure right there. That New Age Prime is almost, but not 150. Awesome. I agree. I totally agree. Hasbro is overpriced, but Legends are way overpriced, says Jay Holler. Action Figure Expert says third-party companies do not get busted because they are not 100% copying Transformers. They are their own renditions. Now, I would argue that they are copying intellectual properties. If you put Quake Wave next to Shockwave in a lawsuit, I would almost guarantee that Hasbro or Takara would win that lawsuit. Now, if you do have something, say, I don't know, a third-party company does, like, what is it, Purple Potato? They did their Shockwave, their own rendition. I feel like that lawsuit would go a different route. Gotbot says, now though you'll notice more and more pick and choose rather than buy anything. My sell was Zeta pre-order and significantly cheaper at $304 Canadian ship. You're right. And when Studio Series Cell went over, it's gotten re-released again in more movie accurate or tune accurate colors. The price on that figure is now I think it's like $550 or something like that in that price range. So if you got in on it early before the second wave came out, you got a steal. You got an absolute steal on that. Raziel, Robot Recruits, he says, Robot Recruits, I did the same thing with Mirage as well. Let's see. M3 says, Azov has a sick downbeat for sale. So if you guys want a downbeat, hit up Azov. And Jay Hollis says, I really like the tune look from a bots. Toys versus Games from Blue Raccoon. Toys versus Games in California. You'll have to find it in the city. If you do, you may find me no meetup. I'm just a small town collector who supports his local toy stores and game stores. Mr. Jones, welcome in, man. I'm old enough to remember when Legends were $9.99 and came with a comic base and a Build-A-Figure piece. I am right there with you 100%, man. When Toy Biz was doing it, they were $10. But interesting side note, rumor has it that the reason why they were so cheap, the Marvel Legends, Toy Biz Marvel Legends were so cheap is because Toy Biz didn't pay for their molds. So they stiffed the they stiffed people on the bill for that. But I will say this: I do remember Hasbro having the same pricing whenever they took over Marvel Legends, and yet now it's. Here's the thing I wanted to address with Hasbro's prices, real quick. That Mr. Jones reminded me of this. Here's the thing: Star Wars being $24 a deluxe, I can understand because they don't own that IP. Marvel Legends, I can kind of understand because they don't own that IP. But I also feel like there is no excuse for G.I. Joe to be $25 and come with as little accessories as they do when Hasbro owns that IP. Same thing with Power Rangers. No excuse for it to be $25 and come with as little accessories as it does when they own that IP. The same thing with Transformers. To own the IP and not come with as many accessories as possible at $25. Now, I've said this before. McFarlane's toys, $20, 7-inch scale figure, loaded with plastic articulation. They are heavy figures. There's no excuse for McFarlane to be making a $20 action figure at 7-inch scale when Marvel Legends, again, I don't know what the licensing price is on Marvel Legends, so I'll say G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe being $25, and even a year ago being $20. There's no excuse for it because McFarlane has to pay the royalty rights to DC to be able to make those characters as well. Let's see. Blue Raccoon says, I also think the price rise from the Entertainment One buying Hasbro, and Hasbro is picking what was bought. Now, I do want to address that too. I do think a lot of this is coming back onto the customer. They bought Power Rangers, and that cost them a lot of money. Then in the next year, shortly after that, they bought Entertainment One, and that cost them a lot of money. And I kind of feel like now, whenever something flops, like say that G.I. Joe Snake Eyes movie, we're going to be the one who has to pick up the tab at this point. And a lot of companies are doing that, whether they're comic book studios or comic companies, whether they're toy companies, video game companies, whatever the case may be. If something flops, then it's, the tab comes back to us. And I think that's really messed up. And I think that's what Hasbro is doing now. Because Power Rangers, the Lightning Collection line is doing fairly well. And Marvel Legends is doing fairly well, but they got to make up the cost. You start spending millions and millions of dollars in one go, you got to make up the cost, and it shouldn't be on us to pick up a bad business decision like that. Robot Recruit says, Hasbro don't own the transforming gimmick. Any company can make transforming toys. Yes, that's true. But Hasbro do own the IP for characterizations, which is why Hasbro nail the third-party companies. Blue Raccoon, take care, man. Gaba says, sure, there is an excuse. Old man yacht money. There you go. And I do want to know exactly, as far as their new CEO goes, which I do disagree with their choice in new CEOs. I do want to know how much his contract is and how much his golden parachutes are going to cost if Hasbro has to let him go early. Because again, we're the ones picking up the tab on that, right? So, take care, everybody. Take care, man. Devoid of Logic says, Hasbro is a business. Having to satisfy its stockholders is all it comes down to. It comes down to greed. Absolutely. Mr. Jones fires in there with the 7-inch McFarlane, says, and McFarlane has so many unique molds as well. Yeah, that's the thing too. And, when you start seeing, he made a Batmobile and a Bat Cycle, and he's making these, these vehicles, and these vehicles are what, $30, $35, I believe. They're really cheap, especially in comparison with the figures that you buy. You can buy a McFarlane figure and a vehicle and leave the store for under $60. And that is crazy. You can do the same thing with these Fortnite figures. You know, you can go in and buy a Fortnite figure for under, what is it? Like, I believe $20 now. They're about $20 now. And they're packed to the brim with accessories. Ultra Megatronus, justifiable price hikes. It should be based on quality of material, products, better material, understanding the price hike. Absolutely. I agree. It should be. Should be 110% agreed with that. JSP says, in other words, watch out shit product or we'll make you pay later. Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. Trans says, I wish Takara would do Brave figures again. Dude, you and me are in the same boat right there with that one. Action Figure Expert says, I have been a serious action figure collector for 24 years, and now having over 30,000 figures, I needed an excuse to quit. This might just be it, maybe. Mr. Jones says, $25 for the McFarlane bikes. There you go, man. $25 for a bike. So yeah, you can definitely leave with Batman or Batgirl on their bikes for under $50. Jay Holler says Hasbro has Fortnite now. That is true. That is very true. Fortnite back before. Who had it? Was it Jazzwares that had it before them? Far as I know, from Trans Am, far as I know, Takara may still own the rights to the Brave series still. I hope so. I do hope that they end up doing something with it. Mr. Jones says, yeah, the Hasbro Fortnite, I think, are 23. I have two of them. The 2-pack of the astronauts is 48. When Jazzwares had them, they were 17. See, that's the thing. So right there, they're doing these price increases. I'm not gonna go out here on a limb and say, you know, they get a new IP and they want that money. But that's exactly what's going on here, I feel like. Triple R, man, what's going on? Jay Hollis says, bigger boxes, higher price, less accessories. That's the thing, man. If the packaging is so high in cost, when you look at these legacy boxes that they've been sending out, or the online boxes like the Hasbro Pulse boxes and stuff, they're just bare bones. Just a cardboard box, put the figure in, and they ship it out to you. If packaging costs so much, just don't make it cost so much, right? Just put the word Starscream on the box and then Coronation Starscream and move on, man. That's all you got to do. Or don't put anything on the back of the box. Whatever you got to do to keep the prices down. Go back to ball joints. Go back to ball joints instead of these, you know, multi-point mushroom pegs and universal joints and stuff like that. If the ball joints and stuff kept the prices down, then go back to ball joints. So that way you end up using less parts. You don't have to pay for the tooling for all that stuff. Mr. Jones says, Jazzwares 6-inch Fortnite were 17 and loaded with accessories. That's right, because they did come with, I remember looking at them, man. I never bought one, but I do remember looking at them going, Jesus, that is a lot of guns. Trans Aaron says, yeah, lately they are loaded up with accessories. They are loading up the accessories with G.I. Joe Classified, as they should. They own that IP. Transformers, they own the IP for that. Power Rangers, they own the IP for that. They should, Lightning Collection, every character in Lightning Collection should come with every weapon they've ever used on the show. There's no excuse not to when they own the IP. And as far as we're on the topic of 6-inch action figures, Marvel Legends, stop it with the Wolverines. I love Wolverine. I do. He's one of my favorite comic book characters ever in the world, and I do love the upcoming Wolverine figure with the heated claws. I love it, but calm down with the Wolverines, man. Triple R says, hell no to ball joints. I completely disagree with that. They've been using ball joints for years, and it worked, and it kept the prices down. I think that's one of the main issues. They need to, and stop using so much useless paint, okay? I try to keep the prices down as much as possible. The Sideswipe being molded in red plastic and then painted red, is useless. Doesn't make any sense. Netflix Wheeljack being cast in gray and then painted white. Why didn't you just cast them in white? Makes no sense. Make better paint choices. Now I get it. Stuff comes on a tree. The factory workers, they cut it off. They paint it. They do whatever they need to do in order to get the figure together. But plan better. It's really that simple. JSP says, calm down with the Wolverines and the Iron Mans. Yes, absolutely. Jay Holler says, Hasbro has been quite receptive with their repetitive with their characters. Absolutely agree. In the sense of Transformers, I would love to see I don't want to say a modern take, but essentially a redo on somebody like Stormshot from RID 2015. Kind of bring him into that G1 aesthetic and stuff, right? But then again, I am kind of worried of what we might end up getting from that. But we don't need... Optimus Prime, Megatron, they're always going to be in the lines no matter what, right? But we don't need... I don't know. We don't need another Minosaur right now, I guess. I love the Sunticons, but I don't think they should be doing combiners. I mean, they're looking at third party and they're seeing what sells from third party, and I guess they're trying to essentially try and keep up with that aspect to it. But we don't need combiners. Again, we just got done with Combiner Wars, and we still don't have Monstructor. We don't have Dino King. We don't, there's many combiners that they haven't done yet, and they want to give us a Minosaur. Give us something different, Triple R says, we don't need 10 million Wolverine, Bumblebee, or Optimus Prime. Mr. Jones says, painting the same color paint as plastic gets molded in sounds like a NECA move, 100%. But NECA also paints on top of the joints too, so you can get shipping. That's very true. NECA is very bad with their paint decisions and where they put it. Gotbot says, don't worry, ball joints will return soon. Prices won't fall. Look when we got the siege hike here and lots of people trashed me. I said, no, that is important if that is not allowed to be lowered. I literally have 10 to 12 Optimus Primes and Bumblebees each, says Jay Holler. Action figure expert says, first day, give us crap with no more winners on boxes. And now they lay this price increase shit on us. What the fuck? I agree. Gotbot says, what's next? Hollowness? Wait, we got that. Missing paint? Wait, starting again. Look at a lot of ass ends and molded but unpainted taillights. Ball joints will sneak in soon. I agree. They did. All right, Trans Aaron, I will. I will agree with you, Gotbot, on that one. It was like Siege took the step forward and they said, hey, we heard you complaining about Power of the Primes and the stickers, so we brought paint back and we're not going to be as hollow anymore. And then Earthrise happened, and then Kingdom happens, and it's the same engineering copied. Some of the laziest stuff Hasbro has done in years has come from Earthrise and Kingdom. And while I think it's really cool to have modern day Beast Wars figures with that same engineering, Megatron, Primal, Cheetor to a degree, right? I think that's really cool, but to go back to your G1 engineering with things like Grapple and Trailbreaker and stuff like that, it's really, really lazy. To then turn around and do something like Earthrise Megatron, which is the exact same figure as Siege, just slightly retooled in the chest. It's just really, really, really lazy, and it's really disappointing. Let's see. Mr. Jones says, I forgot how many primes I own at this point. I'm kind of right there with you, Mr. Jones. Optimus Prime is not my favorite character, but if you looked at my collection, you would assume that he is my favorite character. Studio Series alone has like 15 Bumblebees. Agreed. Mr. Jones says, I miss when Transformers had some weight to them, like in classics in RID 2000, Armada, Energon, Cybertron era. I agree. I do miss that era as well. I do really kind of want this like Neo G1 era to kind of come to a close already so we can start moving past this stuff. I know a lot of people are enjoying it. I'm enjoying it myself, but I'm kind of more excited to see what comes later on down the road. I know they're jumping into G2 and they're doing Prime figures in a G1 aesthetic, but I don't want them to go backwards again and start doing like this more Neo G1 stuff. Triple R says, I own 3 Optimus Primes when you include Shattered Glass. Triple R says, now Seekers I have is 29 Seekers. Got bought, the man of the hour. Says, I was trying to get all of my thoughts out at once and ran too long. My comments got split up. No worries, man. But yeah, so my takeaway from all the price increases is this. As far as modern day Transformer representations go, I have pretty much everything that I want. I am going to pass on the 86 Perceptor unless I can find, if I find him on clearance for like $10 or something like that, then I'll probably pick him up. But as far as right now, he's going to be an easy pass for me. My Titans Return is a great G1 representation of a modern day G1 Perceptor. I have the original Perceptor as well. I've got the Generations Perceptor where he turned into the snow exploration truck. So I do have quite a bit of Perceptors. He is one of my favorite characters from my childhood. So he does have a special place in my heart for that as well. Same deal with Wheeljack. But I already have these really good interpretations of these figures. I don't need any more. I don't need modern takes. The only modern take I need now from you, Hasbro, is a Combiner Wars scale Monstructor and a Dino King from Takara. That's what I need. So let's see. Jay Holler says, why don't they try new characters? I agree, Jay Holler. I 100% agree. And I understand making the money off the mold. Don't get me wrong. You know, you got to get, you know, you make like an Optimus Prime first, and then you turn them into Octane. Okay, I get it. Prime cells will always sell better than Octane or Octone, whatever. And I totally understand that. I get that. But I do agree we need to get new characters. And I feel like they were on such a good, they were doing a good thing when they were releasing these unreleased G2 figures, when they were releasing, you know, the Action Megatron, stuff like that, or Combat Hero Megatron, the green one, the green and white tiger striped one, the unreleased one. They finally got that released. You know, Sandstorm, G2 Sandstorm came out. That's the road I feel like they should be going down at this point in time now. Never enough Seekers from Triple R. Agreed about that. Dennis says, agreed about Perceptor. Mr. Jones, I need new Victory and Master Force. I agree with that. And we are getting that Star Saber through HasLab, which I feel like my feelings for HasLab should be covered in a whole nother video and not here, because this is already round almost to that hour mark. But I do agree with that sentiment 100%. Triple R says to turn the G2 Laser Optimus into Toxitron. I agree. Turn it into Scourge. Turn it into Toxitron. Turn it into another Dead Prime. And just to borrow the coin of phrase from the British, to be cheeky about it, right? Turn it into Octane as well. Screw it. Go balls to the wall with it and making an homage to the Titans Return Octane and just flip that on the script on its head altogether. But yeah, guys, let me know what your feelings are in the comments down below. Like I said, this is rounding out that corner of an hour, and I will do a video on my feelings for HasLab. It'll probably be a live stream like this one, because just to help gather my thoughts and stuff like that. Talking out loud helps gather my thoughts. And so my feelings about HasLab will probably be in a live stream, but I'm not the biggest fan of HasLab, but let me just put it like that. David Hill skirting into home at the last minute to win it for his team. Welcome in, man. Raziel says, I want new characters 100 years after Beast Wars. Forget Beast Machines. A new war rages between the descendants of the Maximals and Predacons. You know what? How about I just want for new figures. Let's just blow it out of the water here real quick, right? Let's not do a war. Let's just do 6-inch monoformers across the line, new characters loaded with I don't know, wine and grapes, right? Like, let's just do that. Winston says, hit that like button, everybody. I appreciate it, man. David Hill just got Ninja Build. Sorry about that, David Hill. But as always, guys, let me know what your thoughts are down below. If you made it with me through the entire hour, I appreciate it. And if you didn't, I appreciate it as well for you guys just stopping by and listen. If you participated in chat, again, I want to thank you guys. And if you just sat back and just said, oh, Input's going live to talk about some stuff, and you grabbed yourself a coffee and you sat on the couch and you listened to me ramble for about an hour, thank you for that as well. And if you watch this later, thank you for that as well. Don't forget, guys, Tales from Teletran returns a lot sooner than you might think. See you tomorrow, and my review for the Earthrise Scorponok upgrade kit, the other one that I posted on in my community tab, will be up on Wednesday as well. Like I said, this video I thought took priority because it's about your money and my money, and I felt like that took priority than a review on an upgrade kit. And as always, check out the links down below. I've got my stop motion channel down there below. Season 5 will continue because BBTS just shipped my Black Zarak. And so season 5, episode 7 will be up as soon as I can get that figure and film the remaining scenes. Check out the Patreon if you guys want to help support the channel, stop motion channel, this channel, all that stuff, man. Feel free. And Wednesday's Triple R's birthday, so happy birthday to Triple R. And on top of everything else, like I've said at the beginning of this, if you're tired of the Facebook drama and all the drama and the baby mama drama over on TFW 2005, check out tformers.com, because at the end of the day, they don't silence people. And I love bacon for that. And you know who else loves bacon? Everybody loves bacon, because bacon goes great with everything. And check out Robot Recruits if you're in the UK. He also ships to the US, so I'm told. But if you're tired of Kapow toys and you want to give them that 1-2 Batman style knockout blow, kapow, head on over to Robot Recruits and check out what Phil can do for you. And we got Godbot scooting in with the last quote of the day. Says, heck of a truth. Like I say, I'm here to protect my wallet and yours, and so is Input. And we love bacon. And as always, guys, stay true to yourself. I love you guys. Yeah, that's all I got to say. Stay safe out there, and I will see you guys next live stream, next podcast. And to steal it from Godbot once again, man, I'll see you at the stop motion premiere, baby. And as always, cut